All right. Happy Thursday, everybody. Big waves to you. Good to see you. So, when you got the plan, you got a plan, you got everything lined up, and then a curveball comes to you in your morning. Well, that didn't happen to me, but it happened to Myra. She messaged me about 10 minutes ago and she said, 911. So she said, I'll explain later. So nothing major, but I'm sure it is for her work. So I said, don't worry about it. I'm going to get some involvement going on this morning inside of the Coach's Corner. So it's a good one. The word for today is really big for me. And I'll tell you why. We've been talking about communication and why that's important, whether it's our relationships or we're growing a team or we're working in corporate America. It doesn't matter, right? Communication is a must. Well, there's another must out there, and the must is unity. Unity. I think it's what our world needs right now. I think in a lot of ways, without getting political, there's a sense of divide in a lot of things that we look at, whether it's social media and algorithms. You post a picture about your favorite football team, and it just so happens they start feeding you with the not so favorite football team, right? Through your social media feed. You're like, why is this happening? Well, sometimes you think that there's this division. And so to combat division, it's unity. And I happen to be involved in my previous career as an educator in a lot of different things with unity. And I don't think we come far from being the youth side of ourselves. I think, when I dealt with kids, and you take one high school that bleeds this color. You remember being in school, and then you take this high school that bleeds this color. And then they've decided to make both of these schools come together and wear a different name and bleed a different color. And you go, I can't believe that don't happen overnight, right? Why are they just not unified? Well, it takes time. And so unity is a big word for me. If you look at the definition, and I want y'all to think about this word. I'm going to try to get some feedback from you, hopefully, in just a minute. Unity is created through communication. It's shared passion. But I believe that passion and that communication comes over time when you're trying to bring something together. You can't just walk in a room and go, Dr. Bob, you need to trust me and we need to have unity. Like, it don't work that way. It's through the battle. It's through the grind. It's through the trials and errors and the triumphs and the victories that you start seeing something come together and create something beautiful. So, and in the unity factor, when it comes together, even the weak become strong when they're unified. And I wrote this down this morning, and I think it comes back to humility. Only humility will lead us to unity. Only humility. And that's hard to do, right? That's hard to do is I say two of the biggest killers in anything we do is greed and ego. But lingering beside it's humility, right? It's hard to have humility, but humility is what will bring us to unity. So how do we create it? And I'm going to turn it to some of you. How do we create unity? Well, first of all, we got to have constant communication. Going back to the communication piece, we got to communicate with each other. If there's a problem, sometimes just picking up the phone and calling and working through it ends so much, right? How many of you have festered? Is that a word, or is that just a Southern word? Festered. Okay, you understand festered. So how many of you have festered with a text message you've received that, like, it stays with you all day, all evening, You go to bed upset. You've already ticked off, maybe some significant others because you're mad. And then you find out, you finally communicate with the person, and it's like, I don't think that's the way they meant for that text message to read. I just read it that way in my mind and got myself all festered up into something that was really bigger than it really should have been. So communication is huge. Number two, shared vision creates unity, but that takes time. Like if you're bringing that one high school together and you got all these different high schools, it's not an overnight deal. It takes a couple of years and a lot of fights in the cafeteria to get everybody locked into where the vision's going in that school or in that company. Number three, seek out individuals that align with your purpose. That creates unity. Sometimes in the path, like your people that you once ran with might not see the vision of where you're going. And so you got to align with some people that do. And what will it do over time? It'll shuffle those other people back in, right? So you gotta be, it's a strategy behind it. You got to work through adversity together. Number four, like I go back to picking up the phone call. I go back to having meetings or whatever it takes to work through things together. That's where the strength comes from that unifies us. Fifth thing is we got to agree to disagree. Now, Andrea Rosser disagrees with me a lot, and it really ticks me off, to be honest with you. No, I'm kidding. But I tell her a lot. I say, I really appreciate you because you disagree with me. And although I don't like it, over time, I appreciate it. And so how many of you feel like you know what I'm talking about? Like you've got somebody in your life like that. So you agree to disagree on the small stuff, but don't let the big things go unresolved. Like you got to resolve the big things. Number six, and the last one, serve. And in order to create unity, there has to be a sense of serving other people, even when it's not financially tied to you, right? You go, why would they do that? Why would they go there? Why would they? It's not even in their business, because there's a bigger vision of over time, and it might take years, but over time, we're going to unify something into a beautiful masterpiece. And looking back, it'll be because we served even outside of our boundaries, outside of our limits, outside of our financial reward. And I hope all that makes sense this morning with unity. You got to draw it back to what you're going through, where your life is, and how you can unify things, because that's what our world needs today. Like we are naturally skeptical people because of the world we live in. But if we work through these six things, we can create a beautiful masterpiece. But give yourself a little bit of grace and understand that it's not going to happen overnight. Like if I took over a new football team today, I can't walk in and go, I've won a state championship before. I've got rings. I got the bling, and you guys just need to just respond to me. It don't work that way. What it is I got to look at them and go, I will earn your trust over time. And it will take time. And you will doubt me. And you will dislike me. But I'll prove to you I love you. And so as I end, and I want to ask maybe in the last 3 or 4 minutes for maybe one or two of you to speak up on this, but I believe as I went through this word today, I had to think about this. And I thought about this as I end. People will come and go as we travel the roads of this life. And for a lot of my life, I've really been immature about this. Like somebody comes into my life and then they go do something else, and I'm really pissed at them. But I'm mad because of the selfishness in me. I want to be more of a person that remembers the times we've had, the times we shared, the times that we did things and we made it really fun. and appreciate those moments and wish them well in their future, right? And realize that we're just, does that make sense? I hope it does. Because as we talk about unity, so many times for me, I'm talking about me, like it's all great if you're in my world, but you get out of my world and it's like, I can't believe you left out of my world. But in reality, I need to focus and go, I'm so thankful for the unity we've had. And I wish them so much success in their endeavors and into their future. So all my thoughts this morning on, I went a little bit longer because I knew Myra wasn't on, but is anybody, Vince Green's got his hand up, but we've got like 2 minutes because we always want to keep it at 15 after. Anybody got anything that's pulling on their heart about unity that you might share with the group?
Hey, Brent.
Hey, Vince.
All right, real quick. What I thought about when you said unity communication, and that helps bring people together. Long story short, as you know, Jeannie Harriman, I don't know if she's on today, we're part of the same business. And I met her it was just about 2 years ago or so. And we were all in Kansas together. There was a picture taken when she responded to me on Messenger. And I'm not going to repeat the words, but it was the kindest thing she said. I responded to her. And I want to tell you what, as you can tell, that meant so much to me. And that's part of unity.
Oh, thanks for sharing it. Yeah, it's the little words, the little things. So anybody else hey, Rick Redford.
Hey, Brent, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
So something that I was taught a long time ago is that to create unity, being willing to overcome a conflict in a relationship, not about being right or wrong, but about for the sake of the relationship. And a lot of times we as humans are so desperate to be right that we'll stand on ground even at the expense of unity. And I think that something that I was taught by a really strong mentor of mine was, listen, sometimes you have to be the bigger man and apologize, even though you weren't the one that created it, but for the sake of the relationship, and not to be soft, just knowing that that's in the best interest of that unity.
Yeah, thanks, Rick, for that. And being around you over the last couple of years, the humility piece, I see so much, that ultimately leads to unity. So appreciate you for that. Madeline, are you raising your hand? All right, we're in it on you. So you're the mic drop of the day.
I read something just this morning about texting. It said texting is a brilliant way to miscommunicate how you feel and misinterpret what other people mean. And I think one thing that'll always work is doing to others as you would have others doing to you, and just play nice. That's
Madeline, you just mic dropped it right there. Thank you for that. And it's so true. So true as we end what you just said. There's so many things that that's misleading and has been taken mistakenly because of just lack of the voice communication with each other. So let's think about it as we go through our day. And guys, this was good for me. So this morning. So thank you. Love you. I appreciate you. Let's go out and rock this Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow to end the week.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Brent.
Appreciate
Great
you much.
Thank
Y'all have a great day.
Thank
you guys.
Bye.
Scripture